Hello.
Hey, Keith, I got any pie? Bring me some pie.
The place slightly resembles an insane asylum.
Well, all you need to start an asylum is an empty room and the right kind of people.
It's the kitchen sink.
Prepare to be astonished.
Kitchen sink.
Everything.
The kitchen sink.
Hi. Hey, we're back. I'm Gear.
I'm bad.
And I'm cutting the grass.
You know, Kenny, what can we do?
Kenny.
We live in the backside of God's head, and we have one neighbor. Just
guy.
one.
Just the one guy.
And he decided right now was the best time to cut his lawn, right when we went on the air.
That's right. I am the doctor. I'm not the one cutting the grass. It's Kenny next door.
This is
Kenny.
hilarious.
Oh, Kenny. Does Kenny die in this episode?
I hope
It's
not.
the only one that he does.
This is the one. This is the one where Kenny stays alive and continues to cut grass.
Throughout the
And we,
right when we're done, that will be the
Right.
end of the lawn mowing.
well, but we should tell the listeners that we had a full-on production meeting, and we made an artistic decision to go ahead with the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. It's totally fine.
Kenny.
He's back.
Okay, so you see the cat, right? The cat. If Kenny hits the cat,
Oh,
Kenny.
Oh, Kenny.
Okay, so listen, if we will pause the show if he runs over the cat.
What are you doing over there?
Nothing.
So, how was your trip around the world, Doc?
So I was allowed to travel. TSA ran me through the thing a couple times. They liked what they saw. They liked
Did
what
they?
they saw. No,
How can you not?
lift your hands. We're gonna. You were there, right? And so they foofed me with air, and I passed through.
Nice.
They
You know
foofed
why?
you with air?
You know. Like it's all Doc Rock D, right? But you know what the D stands for in Doc Rock D?
Dude.
Decarboxylation. So yeah, Docky was on edibles on his trip to Hawaii.
Well, why wouldn't you be? I mean,
And was
come on.
super patient with everybody. Super patient.
So how's Hawaii?
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at Plymouth Rock this morning.
Oh my
This
god.
is insane. This is so stupid. There's not even any grass over there. That's the worst part, is that there's not even any grass. Anyway,
Kenny.
I was looking at Plymouth Rock this morning because my Indian papa used to take us over there and spit on that sumbitch every time we went to visit my grandparents because they live in Massachusetts. So we
Okay.
go up to the Cape, and my pop would say, "Come on, kids, we got to go spit on the rock." I didn't understand why we did that
You
until
have to
later.
understand the
Because
beauty
it
of
is-
that.
it
It's
is
so
not the queen.
beautiful.
It really is beautiful.
It's not only did he, not to interrupt, but he gave you the true story and perspective on life, but he kind of let you react to it and feel it. So you guys went and spat upon it.
Yes, we did. And now it is covered in water. And I am so confused why it's covered in water.
Yeah, it's
So-
not spittle.
spit, yeah.
Right, it's not.
It's not water,
You didn't
man.
start
That's
a
all
trend,
spittle.
did you? Did you?
Maybe.
It's
I don't
like
know.
everybody's hawking a loogie on it. It's soaked.
But it is climate change.
So is
and-
that like a nor'easter or climate
Yeah,
change?
I think
What
so.
is it?
There was a huge nor'easter back east, and obviously back east. Hi, I went to college.
In the Northeast.
There was a huge nor'easter, and it just slammed Massachusetts really badly.
But so they're not. So they're not still trying to blame that little Mexican guy, right? Little
I'm
Mexican
sure
kid,
they are.
El Nino guy.
El Nino, yeah.
Remember how they used to try to blame it all on that guy? Blame it on the Mexican guy. It's not cool to do that.
Nuh-uh.
It's not cool to do that. El Nino didn't do this.
Nope, he didn't.
It was El Gringo.
So is Hawaii different at all?
Hawaii is wonderful, beautiful, and sends its aloha from the band Hawaii Kane.
Ooh.
And Willie Will, who is now their full-time keyboard player and is smiling from one ear, and if you've ever seen Willie Will, this is a long distance, smiling from one ear to the other.
Oh man.
So think about it. That takes a long time for that smile to cross that face.
Yeah.
But, so all our friends are wonderful, happy, and want to see us and meet us.
That's
And
great.
we send aloha back.
All right.
And
Of
we
course.
turned on a lot of people to the show, but
Awesome.
you know how we're going through some adjustments. Hopefully, we'll get a set time, and we'll get some listeners from the Big Island.
You know, one of our listeners, New Day, just said this is a better time slot, and I agree. I was trying to do something that we could do after work,
Right.
but so what we're gonna do is, in order to grab that after work crowd as well. We're going to replay this Thursday on the Facebook page. So it'll just be a live audio feed, and we can have chats and whatnot, so you guys can tell your friends if they miss it. So
the people might not know the gift that Gear and Bad are giving of their time. That you guys, I happen to know for a fact how many hours you guys work, and I'm thrilled that you guys involve me in the show. But sometimes I know how tired you guys are, and I'm just like, wow. Respect.
Sometimes we get tired, but
much
you know
respect.
This is. I can't do very much anymore. I can't protest like I used to because my body is falling apart and I have an incurable disease. So I do this instead because I know that I can speak my truth and my voice can be heard, and people can, even if I touch one person. I mean, I don't care if there's like just a few people listening. Even if I touch one person, that's important to me.
Appropriately.
Yeah, well, you know,
because
unless they want me to, it's consensual. Then we're okay, right? You know.
Okay.
So there's just like madness going on in our country.
But this is the best. As a friend looking in, this is the best venue for you, because your voice needs to be heard, and you know when you're out protesting, there's some idiots yelling, as well as some smart people yelling, and if your voice gets lost in that, then that's a big problem. So I, as a friend or as a listener, when I'm not with the show, just glad that you're still bringing it, and that you bring it this way so it's available to more people.
Yeah, and I love the internet, but we have a problem, guys. We have about 60 days until the net neutrality rules are put into place. I don't know what to expect. Bad, can you help me understand what they're going to be doing?
What are they going to be doing? This is all the shit that we were afraid. I haven't been paying attention to
Here,
shit.
before you start.
Yeah, well,
See,
that's important.
And if you want access to your beer channel, you're going to have to fucking pay more money. Essentially is what's going to happen. Again, if these rules are put into place, it will give ISPs the power to essentially throttle your internet.
That
Which
means
is
slow
like-
down or speed up if they don't like what you're viewing.
Yeah. Thanks, Doc. And,
It's the worst
there's
possible
going to be
thing.
like, I mean, the best way that I heard it described was that, you know, if, say you're getting water service to your house, right?
Okay.
Okay. And, okay, you got water. Cool. You can do whatever you want to with the water, but, you know, if you want to take a shower, then you're going to have to pay extra. You get the shower package.
You want the shower package. You want enough pressure to wash all your naughty bits.
Yeah. You don't want to have to take a shower under, like,
Right.
drippity drip
Right.
scenario, because it would take for fucking ever.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd never get clean.
Right. That's
So,
a great analogy.
It's
Thank you.
I know. Well, I forgot where I heard it, but it's definitely not mine. But essentially, that's what the internet is going to become. Is if you want to take a shower on the internet, you're going to have to pay for the shower package.
Well, you know where you.
Goodbye.
You know,
porn.
sometimes the beauty of the internet. Sometimes you do find a clarity in a new thought, and then you can immediately look into it, and immediately take it as far as your interest goes. That's done. Does your interest coincide with your server's interests? Right?
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, if you're interested in sodas, it better be the brand that your provider is aligned with, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my God.
And we have 60 days. I thought that I think there's another appeal that's happening. And what's going on with Ajit Pai? There was some weirdness going on.
I hadn't heard anything about that.
Let me look
A
it
while ago, I think it was I want to say the DOJ was looking into ties between Ajit Pai and the CEO of Sinclair Broadcasting.
That's interesting because, you know.
But I don't know whatever came of that. As far as I know, their deal is going to go through. Sinclair's going to have to sell off some Tribune outfits in places where they already own media outfits. I
I have it right here. February 15th, USA Today. Ajit Pai, the controversial chairman of the FCC, is under investigation by the FCC Inspector General for his ties to Sinclair Broadcasting.
That's who it was.
Representative Frank Pallone Jr., a Democrat from New Jersey, and Representative Elijah Cummings, a Democrat from Maryland, requested the investigation, saying that Ajit Pai and his aides improperly pushed for rule changes to benefit Sinclair Broadcasting in its attempt to acquire Tribune Media.
Funny thing is, the first time I read the story was on the Chicago Tribune website.
In April, Pai suggested changing rules about how many station broadcasters could own. How many stations broadcasters could own
In a market.
in one market. Sinclair followed up with a $3.9 billion deal to snap up Tribune thanks to the new rules. The question for the Inspector General was Pai's push for the new rules improper and were they timed to benefit Sinclair? And this is what we are seeing throughout this administration and throughout the government right now is we are at peak oligarchy here.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's really terrifying what's going on in our government. We've got everyone lying, everyone covering shit up, and if you're not guilty, then you don't act like this, guys. You don't act like this if you're not guilty something.
You don't ask everybody, what did the DA ask you?
Right.
Tell me everything he said.
Right.
What did you tell him? Tell
Reince
him everything you told.
Priebus.
Tell me everything.
That was Reince Priebus and a couple other people when they went to Mueller and had their interview.
Right.
The president asked them what he said and was he nice to you? Those were his words. Was he nice to you?
He's an obvious loser and a really bad liar.
Absolutely.
Trump. Donald Trump is the worst. He's dumber than the dumbest friend that you still have. He's slower than your slowest friend and not as charming.
Okay, I have a question
It's just
because
fact.
this affects us as well. We have a question. They use a very small local internet ISP or service provider. Will the changes affect them as much as the larger markets, or?
I'm gonna go with because your small internet provider doesn't just own your little hunk of land. I mean, we have a little small internet provider out here, TDS. I fucking hate them. They are what their name implies. Tedious. Bunch of bitches. Anyway,
And their salespeople are going to be
these guys
loud.
are fucking set up for they spent the 80s buying up little little swats of land. Little raths of land.
Yes,
That's
one
right,
of the fucking idiots. Sam Nunberg said that he was like a huge
Well,
wrath of land.
He was drunk as
He was
shit,
like,
dude.
a huge wrath of land, and I'm like, what is a wrath?
You feel
angry
wrath.
land? I'm not sure.
But
Anyway, sorry.
Was it a swash?
No, but I believe for the majority of the chunks of land that TDS in particular owns, that there aren't any other options for internet. For instance, where we are, there are option or satellite, which is balls.
Oh
or
my
fucking
God.
wireless.
We had a
which is
friend
balls.
who got the HughesNet thing, and that
was gone in like 2 hours.
it was literally all their internet
They
for
hit
the
their
month was
50
gone
gig.
in
It was
2
gone,
hours.
dude.
So when you think
Oh
about
my
like those
God.
satellite internet providers, just say
Oh,
no
right,
because
right.
they're
Well, that
so
and,
bullshit.
You know,
That
as
reminds me
gamers,
when I got-
satellite internets are
When
not
I got
good for
internet
games.
and they sent me a hotspot. I was like, whoa. Well, I'm going to be done with this in an hour.
Right, yeah.
Don't send me a hotspot. Hook me up.
But right now we're going through. I'm hotspotted to my phone.
Okay, so what was the thing that they made the Sinclair people say on air? Are you familiar with that? I heard that last week.
They make them. Recently,
Yeah, like last week it was some across the board. Everybody it was a disclaimer of some kind.
You've been reading FTV Live. What was it? It was
I'm just glad you
somebody
think I can read.
threw a. No, it was. Sinclair sent this script
Yeah.
to all their stations that they were supposed to read during their newscast.
Mm-hmm.
And it essentially was, we know there's fake news out there, and we don't listen to it, and blah blah blah
Right.
blah.
And it was they're forced to read something in Trump.
And that's the thing, dude. Is
speak in his
that's
language.
not something these little local newsrooms want to have to do. Is be told what to say. Sure,
Right.
They got the these must run packages where
Right.
they gotta play these things fucking in their newscast, but they don't actually have to
Right.
say anything other than the tease leading up to it, which is fine. But this was flat out, you know,
Right. Here's
about a minute's worth of I'm gonna say reading propaganda, because
yeah. Well,
corporate
yeah. It's
said,
worse
"Hey,
than it's
you gotta
worse
do
than
this."
talking points. It's like
yeah,
I can't respect
I don't know, man.
anybody that in any level of media
It's only a
that
matter of time
receives
before
their talking points
blipverts.
and bends over and walks in and sticks to them. But they were used to just, even on the public releases of where the drunk driving checkpoints are going to be.
Yeah.
I would tell everybody, don't drink and drive, and here's where it's going to be.
Well, yeah.
It's
don't
not
know,
popular.
Like, even with that thing, it's like the law enforcement don't really release it until it's actually going.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But they'll say, "Oh, look out!
Right.
In the city limits. There's going to be a thing." You know.
well, but like even the whole press release is in one font, right? And then the location is in a whole different font. So I feel like there was an indicator for me to pick up on while doing a live read. I feel like maybe I disregarded it.
Maybe.
And that could have been problematic.
I don't know.
But it's just like, let's be honest, don't drink and drive, and here's a place where they're going to introduce you to the laws regarding it.
Oh man, I saw the funniest drink and drive thing the other day. It was this cowboy who got pulled over by a lady cop.
What?
And
Oh no, that's not
Oh.
Reno 911 footage.
that's so funny.
That is
was
so
Reno
hilarious.
911. Oh my god, this guy.
And but it looks real.
It looks so real. Yeah, she's all right. So bump, step,
Yeah,
bump,
yes,
step,
you
bump.
have to watch
She's
it.
bumping her hip and shit. Oh my god, it's so funny.
Okay, so that's not a meme. What is that?
It's a
It's not a GIF.
video.
It's just a video.
It's just a video.
It's a
Yeah.
video, people.
We're trying to figure out the verbiage. We're old people, you know. We're
I think
Generation
I
X.
think it was obvious I was the old person asking, and I was asking you because
I
you're
don't
always
know.
hipper than I am.
Well, it's because I have kids that are young, you know. Like I know kids,
Yeah.
and they keep me hip and fly.
Hip and fly.
Fly. Yeah, that's the new word. So here's something that I found out yesterday that I'm confused about.
Okay.
Number 45 says, I've never met Vladimir Putin. I don't know Vladimir Putin. So why in the fuck is there a typed letter with a handwritten postscript to Vladimir Putin from Donald Trump in June of 2013,
Right.
thanking him for the meeting and blah, 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 and whatever,
Well, it's
with a handwritten postscript?
Well, I'm starting to believe that
P.S. I love
the
you, Johnny.
Russians made him run from the beginning. You remember back when he said, I don't want to run. I know what it'll do to me. I'm more rich not running. Well, the Russians said, oh, very good, comrade. Very, very good. But let me explain to you something. Footage of you, pee, rain. It's footage of them peeing on you, and we want you to run, and you're going to be our guy.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So that sounded so crazy to me.
Donnie.
Be our guy. You are going to run, comrade. You just don't know it yet. Like
so
it could be
insane.
bigger than we thought, or at least I thought.
I have no idea.
Because
what's
I
happening.
thought it was mostly ego, and his connections and the money he could make. But now I'm starting to think they might have pushed him.
I just think there's a lot of money laundering involved, and you know what? That's the only thing that I can really land on the
Look
concreteness
at
of it.
Kushner, how much money he had. His God-forsaken meetings with banks in the White House.
Yes, he did, and that is
And he
so
got
cool.
millions, hundreds of
Billions.
millions. And this is a guy who needed one thing when Trump got in the White House. His son-in-law needed one thing.
What?
Okay, two. His wife to stop faking orgasms, but the most important thing he needed was money. He was involved in one of the biggest deals in New York for that land, and he bought it for like 10 times what it was worth. He needs money. He has people that want their money back. So he got those banks to invest.
Yeah, big time.
And by the way, you're doing business with anybody. That first meeting is important. If you're getting a wedding DJ, that first meeting is important.
Yes, it is.
If somebody gives you that first meeting in the White House, you might do business. Okay.
And they're in a lot of debt.
Okay,
The
you know,
666
so, yeah.
Park Ave is
Yeah,
a
here you
big
go, Jared.
bear. That's billions of dollars of debt right there, and that's why Mueller is following the debt. And now
Right.
we have this
Mueller's
information.
smart.
He is really smart. And scary. He's the guy that I would be afraid of because I protest the government, man.
Right.
You know, like,
Well,
I'm not a fan of these people, by the way. I'm not a fucking fan of these people.
It's easy to forget. They don't get caught up in the semantics. They actually have a modus operation, one step after the other, and they follow the money.
They do. Boopity boop boop boop. There's the money. And it leads you to
Bip,
the Seychelles
bop,
Islands. Bing,
bip,
bang,
bing,
bong, boom,
bing,
bing,
bop,
bing,
bip.
bong, bong. Let's go to the Seychelles with Eric Prince, who I hope goes to jail because he is a rotten piece of shit. If you don't know who Eric Prince is, he is the founder of Blackwater.
Oh my God.
They are saying now that they have evidence that he did a bunch of really dirty shit in Iraq.
Everything.
Oh,
Almost
really?
every
We didn't know that.
What is it, like 3/4 of every military contractor was with Blackwater? And
Yeah.
they later changed their name. And what was the leak at the bottom of the ocean off the coast, the southern coast we had?
The Horizon, Deepwater Horizon.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
that was them.
Really?
Blackwater changed their name and got a week before
Why
they
didn't I know
got the contract to do all oceanic cleanup. Under a different name 2 weeks before it happened.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my
You're getting all
fucking
tinfoil
God.
hat over here,
Oh
dog. I
no,
don't know, man.
no. It's easily proven this. And by the way, this all went down before the original kitchen sink. Too bad, because we would have covered it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
Oh
terrible
no.
catastrophe.
It's the same. Create the problem. Be the guy that polices the problem. Be the guy that cleans up the
Oh
problem.
yeah.
And then be the guy that.
That's how fucking war works.
Yeah, oh my
you know?
God. Well, right, and they wanted to diversify after war. They were really good at war, Blackwater, at that point, because their former president of Blackwater was in the White House with Bush, going, "Here, I'm going to give us some more business." But I feel kind of
Yeah, you gotta
silly
branch
saying
out,
this
man.
because I'm exposed to stuff that's like this. 12 years old, Doc.
No, it's
But
important though, and
It's still relevant.
It's
I mean-
relevant because he's relevant right now. Because here's what happened. Okay, from what I have chased down, he met the Prince of the United Arab Emirates, or some mucky muck of the UAE, at Trump Tower during the transition when Obama was still president. That guy from the UAE did not disclose to the United States government that he was coming to meet with Trump, which is odd because Obama was still the president.
Right.
So, and by the way, this is just me telling you facts. Don't freak out on me
Not for
about
nothing.
politics. Just calm down. So, the UAE invited Eric Prince to the Seychelles Islands. And that's what he told Congress or
Oh,
Mueller
right.
or whomever. Oh, yeah, they just invited me. And I said, fuck yeah, I'll go. You know, and apparently
Yeah.
he went to the Seychelles Islands just to have a beer.
Right.
Which he says he was at a meeting with someone long enough for him to drink one beer, about an
Right.
hour, and I'm like, Jesus Christ,
One
how
beer an
slow
hour?
do you drink?
What a pussy.
First of all. Second of all, he was with George Nader, who has now been caught with pedophilia memorabilia, by the way, who helped facilitate Eric Prince getting into a back channel with the Russians for Donald Trump. If you pull at these strings long enough, they all unravel because the guy is a sleazy New York real estate agent.
Deviant is as deviant does, and it is perversion in all manner, in all sort.
Oh, and good comment. Monsanto apparently owns a lot of Blackwater, as a comment from one of our listeners.
Oh my God.
Which, if I can
There's
vet
just
that,
too
that's
much
terrifying.
truth to what it's true.
Well, they're all in bed with one another because remember, there's only a few people who own all this wealth. Do you think that they don't know each other?
Right.
Come on, I've been in high society, and that's not how it works. They know each other. They talk to
for
each
sure.
other, and they
Yeah.
compete with one another. That's what they do. High society people compete with one another to be the richest, the most powerful.
Oh yeah, and they play chess with new money.
And people.
Oh yeah, like Jay-Z and Beyonce. The young people think the king and queen of the new youth. It's like, man, they've been bought and sold already.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
allegiances.
Absolutely.
Let me be very clear about that. Their allegiances
Yeah.
have been bought and sold. And You know, Jay-Z was put at the head of Universal Records to do one thing. Hold it hostage. Hold hip-hop music hostage. Sign everybody, record nothing. Development deals across the board to anybody you think is good with a message. And then do nothing with that development deal and let it expire. And he successfully held it hostage for 10 years.
Jesus.
I mean, I remember when I started in radio, it was the 3 major labels. When I got out, it was down to 2, man.
When I was doing the metal show, please don't hit me. When I was doing the metal show,
did not mean to hit you. Which, by the way, I have to say I respect so much. I did an independent hip hop thing, and there was a legend across town, Rach. No, that I would hear speak of, that did an independent metal show, and kudos.
Thank you, sir. So when I did that,
yes,
there were a bunch of PR places for metal. There were media places that sorry, we just had a really funny moment in here. Would you like a joint or a beer?
Right.
Or
yes.
Both. Anyway, there was Heavy Hitter, there was the Syndicate, there was all these places that pushed albums for bands that didn't have. Well, they had label support, but they would farm that PR out to these PR companies. And by the time I ended the show was on the air for 3 years, there was only one left. And there's still only one left. And that's because they branched out to comedy as well as metal.
Oh, smart.
So they are still alive, and that's the Syndicate. My friends run that.
I've always loved networking just slightly outside of your circle. Let's say comedians, well, they're putting up with exactly the same stuff we are. Let's connect.
It started with Brian Posehn.
Oh.
Because he was a metal fan and he did some singing or something, some screaming on some albums.
Yeah,
maybe.
I can see
and
that.
then he also put out a comedy album. So the first comedy album I remember from The Sin was Brian Posehn. And I was like, well, that's a good idea. Branch out to comedy because people love comedy.
Well, but for Brian, his first thing, you probably remember this, was the calendars, the nude calendars he did. Because I don't have to tell you, this is a super attractive guy.
Yeah, he's amazingly hot, Brian.
But then again, he also looks a little bit like a stage manager, and Eddie from Iron Maiden had a child.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. That's not the point.
Hasn't it?
Yeah.
You know who else is a funny comedian metalhead? Fucking Bill Bailey. Across the pond over there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious.
He's fucking funny, dude. I like that guy. And
Black's
he's a big metalhead.
Books, bitches.
And the original,
Yeah, right.
the original Sam Kinison.
Oh,
Remember, real soft-spoken guy.
Nice guy, really calm.
Eloquent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's featured in a lot of spoken word albums.
Right. The calm,
Like the Beastie Boys?
In any grouping, always the calming voice. The voice of reason. Sam Kinison.
Man, I was so bummed when he died. That was suck.
And he just got married.
Ah, that sucked. Why are we talking about all this horrible shit that
Because
happened?
you know what?
in the
We're
past?
allowed to free flow our thoughts.
That's right. There's a flow of consciousness show. That's why we have writing all over the walls.
Try to keep up.
I'll start speaking Indian to you. Oh my god. I don't know. The world is like completely insane, you guys. And it's just like, the more that...
I can't even keep up anymore.
I don't even care anymore. That's the real thing. Is I'm more kind of focusing on unity of people, because it's more important to branch out. And I've been branching out on Twitter and making a lot of new Twitter friends through a lot of political talk. And I think it's important to meet new people, find new ideas, and try to remember that we have the power. Because I think we've forgotten that, all of us.
Right.
We're all so despondent about everything because it sucks so bad right now. And Obama wasn't great, guys. You know, when people call me a libtard, I'm like, I am a critical thinker. When a president fucks up, I will call you out on it. And not just that, I'm not a fan of the United States government. They killed my goddamn people. So,
and see, maybe, like, Trump is doing what he said he was going to do, and that, you know, get in there and fuck shit up. He's breaking everything. Like, he's literally breaking everything.
I just wanted him to break it without the Goldman Sachs people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just saying, you know, let's not have so many fucking filthy, filthy rich people. And it's become the Hunger Games over here. I mean, I read an article yesterday saying that the United States is a third world nation. And that
we
sucks.
treat our citizens.
Not just that, but our education system, the mass incarceration problem that we have. We have a school to prison pipeline here for many young black people in our country, and many young Native people, Latino people, Asian people, and a small group of Caucasian people as well.
Well, right. It's like this little trap that's set up. It's set up closer to a lot of people, disadvantaged people's homes, so they can't even leave their front yard without falling in this trap.
Yep.
But if you're ignorant, you could be as bright white as you want to be, and you're gonna find that trap. It's up on the corner, just around the way.
Yeah.
You're gonna find that trap and fall in it too. Some people fall in it because of circumstance, but you can't be a person that falls into it due to your own ignorance. You know, these people aren't falling into it because of their ignorance. It's because it's pre-designed for them to fail.
Yeah, absolutely. That's perfectly said, Doc. It is pre-designed for them to fail, and it's been that way for way too long. If you look at our country, we are incredibly segregated still, and that is by design by the people who plan the cities.
Right, 8 Mile. There's a reason why 8 Mile, and then Stockton,
right,
Detroit, 8 miles out was where the people could live.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It was on the other side of the tracks.
Yep.
And Eminem was like, I'm accepted at 8 Mile. I'm cool here. Let's make a movie about it. What about the people who were forced to live at 8 Mile? 8 miles out from every business.
Yeah.
8 miles away from everything. Come on, man.
It's funny. We live about 8 miles away from everything.
We live 8 miles out because that's where cool starts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right on.
That's
I mean,
why
out here.
That's
out
why
here.
I live further than 8.
There you go. The further out you live, the cooler you are.
I started to sound like more of an asshole the longer I talked.
No, you don't. I was just thinking, I have a kid who is not white, and he had some serious problems recently with the same thing. He was at his home. Officers came for no reason and took him away for no reason, and then he had to go back to finish up the paperwork and whatnot, and someone, a white man or whatever, assaulted him at the jail in front of the police. I mean, it's insane.
You
like,
say he was Latino,
oh, he was Latino. Sorry, thank you. But
still,
it was because he was not white. You know, he was bothering him
Yeah.
and the cops didn't do shit.
incessantly, and my kid was like, yo, you need to do that. You know what? This is not cool.
Yeah, and see, people have to understand the mental. I just have to say it. The mentality and the IQ of the people who are allowed, that are literally fit in the range of people that will be hired in the booking part of a sheriff's department. That is dumber than your. I'm sorry,
my God,
but
you're
your
so
most
right.
dim-witted friend could not work there.
Why?
They're too
Because
smart.
you score out of the job.
Yeah.
You're too smart, and it's just not the smartest people. And these people literally entertain themselves by putting, "Hey, you see that guy here? He's just here to do his paperwork. I don't like him. You see that guy over there? He's just here to fill out some. Neither one of these guys are inside the jail. Watch.
Yep.
Let's make them fill out their paperwork next to each other in a cubicle. You know, they feed on that. That's their entertainment for the day, is to make two people beat up each other.
One of those bastards said, you all need to behave. And I'm like, they're grown men. You know what? When we start treating each other like animals, that's when we have broken completely in society. And that is where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And it's getting more and more rabid. You know, if I correct someone's spelling because I'm a dick, and I do that because you're talking shit to me, and that's the only thing I do to you because I'm bored. I'm already bored because I know I'm not going to change your mind.
Right.
Then I'm a libtard because I know how to spell.
If
Are you serious?
If you're still putting tard in your diss, you're a clown.
Yeah, well, you know,
Tard.
that was
People
a fun
with
troll.
retardation are so much cooler than you.
Yeah,
And these people are putting in like it's a diss,
yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, the only
Yeah.
pure people on the planet with
Well-
pure of heart, really?
These are Aryans. You can't
Yeah.
ration with them. But yeah, I mean, everybody just attacks me and says, you're liberal, crazy, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, you don't know what I am, you know? Don't assume just because I don't like this guy that I like the last guy or that I like the other candidate. So,
Hey,
that's where we're at. It's either my guy or your girl. And
Right.
you know what? If you don't like my guy, then fuck you.
Right.
And if you don't like my girl, then you're fucking stupid.
The discussion's not going to happen.
Yep.
It's just F you, and my guy doesn't like your guy. Yeah. Well, I have another friend that couldn't have a more different history than us. His name's Bruce. You know, he's online under his regular name, but I'll just say his first name, Bruce.
I know, Bruce.
Who's been in the Army. He's one of the funkiest guitar players you'll ever... And he's the coolest guy, right? And just got married recently.
And he
But
buys
he
my
sees
art.
it from every angle, right? I mean, he just sees... And the way people misjudge you from one sentence online, I see them do the same shit to him. And they're like, go home and lick your wounds, you snowflake. And he's just like, come help me, you know? You can help me pick from my arsenal. But that he doesn't. But he is the most rational. He doesn't want any guns in the wrong hands.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a well thought out guy. But yeah, he was in the military, asshole. And he's not
Right.
now.
But they
But
don't
he's
have
not
any
a
respect for him.
snowflake.
No,
Yeah.
they have no respect
No
for
respect.
him because he speaks truth. I see him all the time. I'm friends with him too. And
Yeah.
he's a guy like you and I, and he speaks truth on these stupid comment boards. And people just go, oh,
Yeah.
you lost. He's our
brave.
president.
He
Admit
throws
it."
himself into arguments that
Oh,
he's
you know.
braver than I am.
It's a good troll. It's fun. I do that all the time too. And it's fun to me to see
Bless his heart.
like the people, the way that they act.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me because I have a strong sociological background and I like to investigate that whole realm, right? I like
Right.
to like check out what these people are doing and how they think, and they're all so very much similar that a lot of them are bots, and so there's no
Oh,
point
you totally-
like on
yeah.
Twitter especially, there's no point in engaging in people who don't have a picture and only have 12 followers, you know.
Right.
That's a Russian bot or a fucking Malaysian bot or whatever, or
Well,
an
the-
American bot. That's
I'll
a
just
bot.
say it. The more obviously Hispanic the name is, or East Indian or whatever the name is, it's, come on, you guys. Those are the first things the bots take on, right? It's like, God damn
I'm
it.
John Smith.
That's not really your Uncle
I
Tito.
like guns.
Your Uncle
Yep.
Tito didn't really vote for Trump. You know, he didn't. He
And
actually
it's hard to
didn't.
wade through all that bullshit. And people who are not educated about the web, who
Right.
haven't lived on it like Bad and I have lived on the web. I mean, we've gone into some strange, dark corners of the internet together. And it's been fun and lulzy. And I would do it again, and I probably will. So, a lot of people don't understand how the web works. Like, people at work are like, why are you doing this? Like, stop talking to them. I'm like, I'm a troll. They're like, no, you're not. A troll is somebody who just causes shit. And I'm like, that's not necessarily true. You don't understand the internet like I do, right? You know, like, I live on the weird internet, and this is a troll. I am a troll because I fuck with people all the time. But it's interesting to poke them a little bit and see where they go. Most of them just start your mom jokes immediately, and I'm like, bro, you know, come on. Like, come back with a better thing.
Right.
Like, be better. That's what I say a lot.
Right.
Be
That's-
better. This is
that-
bad.
That's your opener? Holy shit, really?
Somebody, like, yesterday or the day before was like, I gave your mom a pearl necklace. I was like, I bet she appreciated it,
Oh,
but
oh my-
she couldn't get it. You know, I was just me.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
slaying.
Do you know my immediate fear is on that one? I think that kid was like 13.
Probably.
Like, that's something. Pearl necklace.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
I'll say that.
Oh, I got her.
Or he
This
was
lady's
25
gonna really.
or 42. You never know
Same
because guys
mentality.
are all fucking, a lot of
Oh my
guys.
God.
Not all men. Sorry.
Right,
Not
Bad?
all men.
Right, Bad? We have the same experience with men.
Oh.
They're just not that sharp.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. So,
What about them tariffs?
dude.
We gotta take the battle to tariffs, otherwise they'll bring it here to us.
We're so fucked.
Oh, wait,
Start
you said
stocking
terrorists?
up now.
No.
Tariffs. Terrorists?
That was supposed to be
You
funny.
gotta stand on the tariffs.
I was bringing the comedy to the show.
I was being despondent because everything is going to start being really expensive and I don't make enough money to...
We can't buy beer in cans anymore.
Obviously.
Not that we were, but aluminum's going up.
Yeah, well, I don't
Yeah, but you're not gonna like
Yeah.
have the same 12-pack cans, one with bottles, and they're not gonna be different prices. So everything's gonna go up.
Across the board.
start stocking
Thanks, Trump
up.
Care.
Stock up.
Stock up now.
Be a prepper.
Yeah,
you're gonna
speaking
have
of
to.
stocking up, get all your bump stocks now.
Shit.
Right? Because they're going to go so that bad people
Who
don't.
knows?
Well, that way
idiot
bad
keeps
people don't
saying-
get mad anymore.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. He keeps saying he's going to do this, he's going to do this, and then somebody says, you can't do that.
And
And
he's
he
like,
goes,
"I
oh,
shouldn't.
okay, I can't
I
do
shouldn't.
that. Yeah,
You're
sorry,
right.
you're right, that's wrong.
I was
So-
just putting it out there.
It was just an idea. We were floating it, you know. I'm
He
a deal
floats
maker.
so
I'm
much.
tremendous.
I like to have people with different ideas.
I like
And I
conflict.
put them against each other, and I watch, and I like it. What do you mean? I don't.
Idea deathmatch.
Right. And it's like, let's get nowhere. It's like he defines bureaucracy, and then he says he enjoys it.
What a dipshit. Dipshit.
You know, we all need to gadoogie.
Oh, yes. Gadoogie is working together. And that
We
is
just need to do that.
that is one of
We
the
need to be
tenements
Akamai
and Gadoogie.
and Kokua.
And we have to be
Work
on
together.
Doyakta, which is
See,
the
right.
right path, you know. Doyakta leads to Gadoogie, and that is the right path leads to working together, and working together leads to harmony, and harmony is where we need to be. Because it first of all, it isn't about humans, motherfuckers. It's about the earth. Okay? That's the first and foremost thing that I want to say here. This is not about everything we do is so us-centric, and we are ruining everything. This is about the earth. She is crying out and telling us, fuck you, knock
Right.
this shit off, or
stop,
you're all
you
gonna
guys.
die.
We're lucky enough to be born, live, and exist on like a flower.
She's
And we
so
want to
beautiful.
kill it. Like we want to really
wanna
really
pick
kill
it.
it. We really
wanna
want to
pick
get
it.
into the roots of it and knock the dirt away. Really? Do you really want to frack our little flower? Come on, man.
What we're doing is tragic, you know, and I believe they may be drilling in the Black Hills, which is terrible to the Lakota. That is a very sacred place, and my heart is heavy for them. Trump is being terrible for Native people. You know, we already have pretty bad challenges. We have high rates of diabetes and AIDS. We have a huge suicide rate, especially amongst our young people on reservations and in the cities. We have disconnect, we have infighting, we have tribal politics, we have the BIA, we have all this shit that weighs on us, you know, this historical trauma that weighs on us, and now the shit pieces of land that they pushed us to, they realize they fucked up because there's resources there, and they want us to disappear so they can take them all. And that is something that we will not go quietly for. I'm not going to go down without a huge fight on that, and you could see that by Standing Rock.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep their eyes on us forever. If they see us doing anything cool, anything good, they're looking over our shoulder and they'll be like, "Look, we gave you only this land, but we see you're doing something really good with it, so we want that too." So it's like we need to buck up, stand up, turn around, look them in the eye, and say, "What, bro?"
And we need to lift each other up.
Keep your hands to yourself.
We got to
And
lift each
stand
other
back
up.
where I can see your hands.
Yeah.
Treat them like we're a cop. I want to see your hands. Get back. You
That's a
can't
good
have
idea.
any more of our resources. Keep Hawaiian lands in Hawaiian hands and do
Aho.
the same with the original people.
What they're doing to my homeland, the Great Smokies, you know, it's
I mean,
terrible. We just had terrible fires, you know, like terrible things are happening in our country. I mean, in Tennessee there were terrible fires, and then there were the terrible fires down south in LA or wherever the hell that was.
right.
The whole southern part of the state was on fire, you know, and we haven't had any rain. So there's that.
There is that.
You know, that's a scary situation. California produces a lot of the agriculture. Wait, number one in the country, as a matter of fact. The 6th largest economy in the world, and we have no water.
Yeah.
So the earth needs some healing, and we need to stop thinking about ourselves and start thinking about her. Because she provides everything for us. All the medicines we have, all of the food we have, our houses, everything that you have is provided by Mother Earth.
I just don't understand. People won't take a, what is that? A concrete jack where you break the cement up. They won't take a
Hammer.
jackhammer into. They just bought a house for their family. They won't take a jackhammer into the living room and go, let's just see if there's gold in the house. You won't do that to your house. You won't.
Right.
You won't crash your car on purpose.
Yeah.
But we will frack the biggest penetration into Mother Earth we can. Let's see what we can. What if we break it? Maybe something cool will fall out.
Yeah.
You know what's
But
going to fall
we're
out?
actually on it. We're actually living on it. It's like mind blowing that we would just go to the core of everything that is in our known existence. We're like, let's just mess with it.
You know, he's referring to them drilling into the core.
I don't know.
They're going to drill into the core of the Earth, which is a really bad idea. We're being surveilled by the
Yeah.
airwaves. What I was going to say is what's going to be unleashed are terrifying diseases from the Arctic.
Right.
There was an anthrax outbreak from the permafrost. There was some anthrax that had frozen in the
Whoa.
permafrost, and it killed a whole herd of animals in Russia, I believe, or somewhere in that area over there in Eastern Europe. It was terrifying. It killed like 150 animals. They may have been antelope or they were sheep. I can't remember quite. But it was anthrax that was
Yeah.
in the permafrost. And so there is a huge concern that there's some weird shit in
Right.
the permafrost that is now being unleashed upon our planet because it's melting. I watched this time lapse of the Arctic from 1984 to now, and there's like a quarter of the ice left. Like a quarter. And that means goodbye New York, goodbye Florida, goodbye
Right.
London, goodbye Miami, goodbye the Seychelles, the Maldives, Japan.
Well, we got 8 years of backwards thinking to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
hopefully
right.
not 8 years. Hopefully just 4 years. But the people Trump has put in, like, to the EPA and different things.
Scott Pruitt.
Yeah,
What a
where
nice
they
man.
changed, like Monsanto wasn't even going to get to do that poison anymore that's in our food and is in 87% of women's,
Ovaries and stuff.
not the ovaries, the
Uterus.
belly button that connects
Oh,
with the
the
baby.
umbilical cord.
Umbilical cords. 87% of women
What
had
the
it
fuck?
in their umbilical, and it's a toxin.
And we wonder why
and it's
autism
banned
is so
everywhere.
high. You know, I mean, look at that. The rise of processed food
Oh my god.
and the rise of autism. I don't know. I'm not studying this,
Right.
but it seems to me that we have no choice but to eat processed foods a lot because we're poor. And now they're cutting more and more and more of our benefits for someone like me who was a single mom who could not find her ex-husband to get child support. I'm disabled. I worked as much as I could, which was all the fucking time. I had 2 or 3 jobs all the time so I could feed my kids. And I had to have food stamps at sometimes.
Right.
It was rare, but when it happened, it was important because my kids were hungry. So
Right.
instead of that, people are going to have to rely on food banks, and they have been taxed in the last year since the recession. I've worked with a lot of these food banks in the town that we live in,
Yeah.
and I know because their leaders have been telling me that they can't get donations anymore because people are too poor to give.
Right. And you know, and they want you to, give boxes, canned goods, whatever. And anything that's in a can or a box is bad for you because it's processed.
Yep.
So we're kind of continuing the cycle. I'm going to go crazy on my food garden this year.
I just
So if
started
our
my
viewers have any advice for me, I'll take it.
I will help you. I have the green
Because
thumb.
I'm going crazy with
Me
it this
too.
year.
I think it's important, and you raise a good point. What I've been thinking about is because my family's a heritage family here, and I have apologized for stealing their land. My dad has been on the same piece of land for a very long time. It's coming on 130 years here, and we have grown stuff there the entire time. And what I really was thinking about was, we've always grown stuff. My grandparents had a cow. They grew their own food, and everybody did that just 2 generations ago.
Yeah.
And now we rely on the state, basically, to provide food for us. And I think we need to, like Tupac said, the great prophet Tupac
Right.
said, we need to change the way we eat. We need to change the way we live. You know, it's important because that is a connection to the earth. And we need to be thankful for it, too. We are not thankful for the animals and plants that give their lives to give us sustenance anymore.
right. Jeez.
And that's an important part of it because that creates your own humility. And that's something you need to walk in. And I think the more of us who do that, the more of us who understand the connection between ourselves and the earth, the better off we're going to be.
Yeah, you want to be Tupac or you want to be Lil Xan?
Oh man, I don't think you know about this. Oh, I told you about it. Yeah, my daughter said, my daughter was amazing. I have to share what she said. So Little Xan is some little shithead wannabe rapper kid, and
Just think of a 15-year-old that was allowed to get as many facial tattoos as he wanted from his friend who just got a tattoo gun.
right.
And is allowed to just speak his mind, which doesn't really truly exist. And he said, Tupac,
He's boring.
he boring. He boring. It's like, dude, you couldn't even show up not high.
What the fuck?
There's nothing, you know what? As older people, there's nothing worse than way high young people. I mean,
I know,
God,
right?
You've never even lived. You've never even lived unhigh.
Right.
And you
Yeah.
treating the ills and ails of your life with drugs, and you've never even lived to anything. Why? What is happening?
Plus, again,
It's so backwards.
Xanax is not a fucking party drug. It
Right.
just puts you to sleep.
That's why you said Tupac sucks, because you're doing drugs.
So my daughter says, who the fuck even is Little Xan, and who let him have that stage name? Obviously, the adults in charge of him don't have his best interests in mind.
That's one you raised.
I raised that girl.
Yeah. You ever say something bad about Gear? She raised her kids correctly.
Yes, I did.
This guy called him a mouth breather over
Yeah,
here.
I know. I liked that guy.
I'm Doc Lutens on Facebook. Get at me.
Yep,
Tell me how to grow my garden this year, because I am going to grow food crazy.
you should, and everybody should. Even a
I'm
little
getting
bit.
my corn from Mexico.
Ooh!
Real corn.
I might have to.
So you know it'll be poisoned like within one season. They'll fly over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to trade you something for a couple seeds
Oh,
because I love Mexican corn.
I'm just going to go for it. and
Yeah.
Get as much food as possible.
I'll tell you how to
Set up
grow
a whole
corn.
fucking backyard.
I'll tell you how to grow corn after the show. You know, what the other part of that food chain thing is plastic. And I've been thinking a lot about that. Everything is wrapped in fucking plastic. Even if it's in a canister, there's plastic on it. Stop it! You know, Jesus Christ, we don't need all this plastic. It's killing our earth. So if you grow your own food, you kill some of your plastic habit, and that's a really, really good thing because it's killing our planet at the molecular level.
Yeah.
I'm a scientist, guys, and I don't play around with biology and shit. This is serious shit. Our oceans are full of plastic. There's so much garbage in the guts of giant fish and little fish all over the world, and it is changing the molecular structure of the water and making the frogs gay.
Well, but not to mention, hey, where I live, I spend almost $20 a week, like $17 a week, on trash disposal, packaging materials, and it's just like,
Yeah, it's all packaging.
man, if I could cut that in half,
Yeah.
I mean,
And that cuts your
geez,
footprint, too.
I could be sending my kid to 2 different music lessons a month for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He could
Yeah.
be learning 2 instruments.
And then the food costs too. That, I mean, if you grow your own vegetables and your own fruit, that really cuts down on your food costs, you know? And then you can always go to a butcher and get your meat.
Right.
We buy our meat locally because we know where the cows are raised, you know, and I don't eat very much meat myself because A, it's expensive, B, I don't like it. But we know where it comes from. There's no hormones, there's no bullshit. It's just cows that live out here in
Right.
the field.
Well, I might do the live experiment this year, and I'll bring it here.
What's that?
I have 100% full access to quail,
No.
gray squirrel, and I've been thinking about it. Now we
Oh,
know
squirrel.
my man Bad right here. My man Bad freaked out when we gave him a bag of shrimp.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on, man. No, that was
They
bad.
had
That
the
was
eyeballs
so
on it.
bad.
That
No,
was
they did my
gross.
man
Stupid
wrong.
as shit,
They did my man wrong.
And that guy, fucking walk and roll, man. And the guy at the
That guy.
was such, like, That's it.
And
I'm
the
sorry,
messed up
dude.
thing was
I loved your food for so long, but this is no.
the waiter leaned into me and says, "Hey, was that really bad right there?" I'm like, "That's him right there." And he's all, "I got him." So I didn't know that was something negative. And he brought you out bugs with eyeballs on them.
Yeah.
It was interesting, and then they just poured
was
it on the
interesting.
table. That's what kind of restaurant you just pour your
Right.
food on the table, man? I'm just like,
Louisiana.
I'm not okay.
That's
I'm not
South.
okay.
My
They do
shrimp
that.
still had fucking heads and legs,
You
man.
guys in the
It's
South,
not okay.
No,
in the
I
South,
lived
they
in
will
the
come
South.
out and staple a trash bag.
I lived in the South.
To your table.
I have never seen this.
No, like they'll tear it and staple to your table and like.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's because I don't eat mud bugs
Right.
and I don't eat shrimp. I don't like that stuff. So I'm a really picky bitch. So
So for this year though, if I get a couple of quail,
I'll eat some quail.
I'll
I
grill
love
them
quail.
out here.
oh yeah,
dude.
we have my cousin raises quail across the
Yeah,
street.
I'm just. See, I should just get them from him and just raise them.
Raises them.
Yeah,
That's why they're everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
he raises them.
Ours
over
are
there.
wild, but
Oh, they're
boy,
yummy.
it'd be easier to raise them and just pluck them out as you like.
I've had rattlesnake. That was good.
My man Randy up in Round Mountain, he raises his own green-eared perch.
Really?
Up to 1.5 pounds.
Holy shit.
What is that?
All self-sustaining. We have to go up
Fishies.
and see it.
Oh,
Fishy, fishy.
He has his own fish runs, everything.
cool.
He's like, they're still better out of the creek, but pretty soon the creek's gonna be poisoned.
Oh, I just got a good link from New Day. $180 billion investment in plastic factories feeds global packaging binge.
Oh god.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so we
gonna
just gotta
dramatically
hamstring everything
increase.
together.
Over the next 10 years, after multi-billion-dollar investments in a new generation of plastic plants in the U.S.
Oh good.
Oh my God, this is tragic.
We're all gonna die.
I'm gonna make chairs out of my plastic bottles. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be interesting. I've been thinking about it. But, if we don't buy it, then we can control our footprint. And that's the only thing we can do is try to control ourselves because the world is really messed up right now. But if that's the native way too. That's the Ani Yomiya way, in fact, is to live in the right way, in Doyakta, in the right path. And people around you will see that and hopefully model their behavior after you. That's the way that's our way. So I say that's what we can do, is just be ourselves and know ourselves and not contribute to the chain of bullshit, the chain of colonized bullshit.
Start a garden. Grow your own fucking food.
Yeah, definitely do that. Even if you have like window boxes, you can grow herbs, you can grow mints, you can grow all kinds of stuff. You can grow microgreens. You
I
know,
wanna collect rainwater.
shh, it's illegal. I think that's about it for us, though.
Yeah. It's about time.
It's about time. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate it. We're going to replay this Thursday at 8 on the Facebookery. So, there's that.
Check me out, Doc Luton's on Facebook, and give me garden advice.
Yes, and we're actually on Facebook, too. We don't have a Twitter yet. Sorry about that. We do have the YouTube channel that you probably have because you're listening. And then there's the Facebook, which is at Kitchen Sink AM.
And there's the whole thing where
Yeah.
the fact that we love you.
Yeah.
And it should be addressed at some point, not now. That would be awkward.
Thank you for listening. Have a lovely day and go be your best self. Live in Doyakta and work for Gadugi. And what was your word? The Hawaiian word that you said?
Aloha nui loa. Ahui ho kako.
Aho, wash day.
Later, y'all.
Peace!
See you.
The kitchen sink. With gear.
There was just kittens and fucking puppies and rainbows and bunnies. Bad.
How can you edit out a Pegasus?
Red.
I like unicorns.
And Doc.
Loose cannon! What have you got yourself into, man?
Everything.
And the kitchen sink.
Just sitting around, freaking hanging out.
You know,
It's kind of like the Newsweek.
there's not much going on
It
in the
was
news.
just the news was just kind of hanging out.
I've thought that the president being investigated by the FBI was kind of normal. You know, that's happened before,
It
hasn't it?
has.
That's happened before,
That makes
right?
it normal. Yeah, that happened before.
The kitchen sink.
Thursdays at 8 p.m.